Summer is supposed to be the season for escape. Long drives, lakeside cabins, road trips with friends. It's when we all chase that feeling of freedom. But sometimes, those vacations turn into something else entirely. People send me their stories, real experiences that ruined their idea of a perfect getaway. Nights by the fire that turned into nights of terror. Peaceful lakes that swallowed the unexplainable. Hotels and cabins where something was waiting in the dark. Tonight, I'll share 3 of those true summer horror vacations. Stories sent in by people who swore they'd never forget what happened to them. So, settle in and listen closely. Because these stories aren't campfire tales. They're confessions from the people who lived them. It was supposed to be the perfect summer escape. Warm sun, cold beer, friends, and the kind of quiet you only find miles away from the city. We chose Lake Lanier in Georgia, a man-made lake built over what used to be entire towns, churches, and cemeteries. You can feel that history in the water. Locals call it cursed. Since its creation in the 1950s, over 700 people have drowned there. Many experienced swimmers, many in calm water with no explanation. That didn't stop us from going. The first night, we camped by the shore. Around midnight, the surface of the lake was completely still. No wind, no boats, just silence. That's when we heard it. Faint splashing, like someone treading water. We grabbed flashlights, shined them across the surface. Nothing. The sound stopped. An hour later, as we were trying to sleep, something heavy brushed against the underside of our rented dock. A dragging sound, almost like hands pulling along the wood. The next day, we swam near a roped-off section where several drownings had happened. The water was murky, darker than you'd expect on a bright summer day. I dove under, just for a few seconds, and when I came up, I swore I felt something tug my ankle. Hard enough to leave a red mark. No rocks, no branches. Nothing that should have been there. That night, one of my friends swore he saw a figure in the water. A woman, pale, hair floating, eyes open. She didn't splash. She didn't move. She just stared. And when he blinked, she was gone. By the 3rd day, we couldn't shake the feeling that the lake wanted us gone. Every time the water lapped against the dock, it sounded deliberate. Like it was pulling at the posts. We cut the trip short. A week later, I was scrolling the news when I saw a headline. Teen drowns at Lake Lanier. Body recovered. Near campsite docks. The exact place where we stayed. Locals say the town that lies beneath, the homes, the graveyards, never truly left. And when you swim in that water, you're swimming with the forgotten. The drowned don't rest at Lake Lanier. They wait.
When I was 17, my cousin dared me to go swimming at midnight. The kind of stupid summer dare you think will make you brave. The lake house we were staying at in Tennessee sat on a long, quiet stretch of water surrounded by forest. The air was warm, the stars clear, the water dark and still. We slipped out barefoot, trying to be quiet. The surface of the lake was black as ink, reflecting the moon perfectly. My cousin laughed, daring me to swim out to the dock in the middle. I nodded, pretending I wasn't terrified. Halfway across, I felt it, something brushing my leg. I kicked it off, assuming it was weeds. But then, cold fingers wrapped around my ankle, hard, tight. Panicked, I thrashed, but it didn't let go. Before I could even scream, my cousin went under, pulled straight down by something I couldn't see. No ripples, no bubbles, nothing. I dove after him. For a moment, the water was peaceful, eerily calm. Then he shot up on the other side of the dock, coughing, pale, shaking, eyes wide with terror. He swore something had grabbed him, something with hands. We scrambled out, sitting on the wood, staring at the lake like it had a mind of its own. I could feel the water against my legs, cold in the warm night air, as if it were watching us, waiting. The next morning, my uncle said it was probably just weeds or a fish, but the neighbors shook their heads. They knew the lake's history. 15 feet deep in the middle, calm, no currents, nothing that could pull a person under. Years later, I read about drownings there. Strong swimmers, teenagers and adults alike, pulled under, never screaming. Their bodies found with bruises around their ankles shaped like hands. I haven't been back. And even now, when I think about it, I can still feel those fingers tightening around my ankle in the dark water. Just for a second, when no one's looking.
It was one of those long summer nights where the heat never really goes away. My friends and I were driving back from the beach, windows down, music blasting, trying to stay awake for the 3-hour trip. The highway was empty, the trees stretching forever on either side. That's when we saw him. A man walking barefoot along the shoulder. No shirt. Head down. My first thought was that he was drunk or maybe stranded. But there was something wrong. Something that made my stomach twist. We slowed, wondering if we should stop. But when we passed, he lifted his head. And his eyes, they were completely white. No pupils, no iris. Just wide, blank, staring at us. My friend in the passenger seat screamed for me to keep driving. I did. But when I glanced in the rearview mirror, I felt my chest tighten. He wasn't walking anymore. He was standing in the middle of the road, watching. We tried to laugh it off, but the laugh didn't come. A few miles later, bright lights appeared behind us. Headlights, fast approaching. My heart was pounding. I glanced back and realized they weren't headlights. It was him, running, barefoot, in the middle of the lane, keeping pace with us even though we were doing 70. I floored it. 80, 90. My hands were shaking on the wheel. My friends didn't speak. Neither did I. I just kept driving until finally, he was gone. When I got home and parked, I felt my stomach drop. On the back window of my car, a handprint, smudged in dirt, pressed flat, as if someone had held on the whole way. I've never driven that stretch at night again. And even now, when I see a lone figure on the shoulder of a dark road, I can't help but remember him, watching, waiting. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you're not planning any late-night drives or quiet lake trips anytime soon. If these stories made the hair on the back of your neck stand up, remember, they're not made up. People lived through them, and sometimes the things you think are behind you are still watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story that will keep you awake at night. And if you have your own terrifying summer experience, send it in. I might just tell it in the next video. Until then, stay safe and keep your eyes on the road.